dipshit. Fuck you, that's why. Cause fuck you, that's why. Cause helmets suck, that's why. And commies like you swallow, that's why. Fuck Pete Wilson, that's why. Fuck Dick Floyd, that's why.
How's it going, everybody?
That's why.
Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. Of course, as you all know, it is a infamous time of year when the demonic overlords at Davos gather together to once again openly discuss how they plan to dominate all society and take over everything. Right? Good times, man. Good times.
Yep, Lizard Overlord gathering of the season.
Right. Of course, always brings about a whole bunch of video clips of absolute dystopian 1984 type shit that we could go ahead and discuss. So, of course, that's what we're going to be doing here tonight. We got a whole bunch of clips for you guys tonight. Let's see, we got the Iowa caucus results. Of course, that happened at the beginning of the week. Yep, it pretty much went as you suspected. Maybe a little bit better in a we'll get into that in a little bit. We got the left basically openly planning for violence in the streets should Trump win, as we have predicted, right? As we had predicted on the show. It's once they come to the full reality that they fucking lost, they're gonna go nuts because they're fucking batshit crazy, right?
Not to mention that's what communists do.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of communists, we got the world anti-communist Javier Milei basically going on and flaying all the people at the World Economic Forum, basically giving a whole speech, a whole 30-minute speech on the basically how horrible socialism is and basically how we should all fucking turn away from socialism and never look back. To the people in Davos, mind you, right? Let's see, we got China. Oh, China. As you would probably suggest, they are working on their new election season variant, and they're planning on releasing that. This one's going to be a little bit more spicy than the last election season, seeing as it's reportedly got a 100% kill rate.
It's not election season; it's X season.
Right. But just to let you know that our elections are a bit more important than the rest of the world. Their fucking neighbors and their current, geopolitical rivals, Taiwan, held their elections. And, of course, the basically the nationalist, the sovereign Taiwan leader, basically, obviously is the one that won. And we're going to be talking about that, So obviously they don't want to, they're not too worried about those elections. They're worried about our elections, right? We also got the and by the way too, we're going to be playing some videos of Taiwan basically giving a master class in how elections should be held and how votes should be counted. Right? I don't know if you've seen any of those videos, but that's
no, I did not. This will be a new one for me too. So
it's great, man. It's great.
Yeah.
Right. We also got the Thomas Massey going ahead and doing his fucking work and getting the January 6th pipe bomber video released, right? Of course, that's been the one thing that's, been swept under the rug, considering, how deep they dug into the January 6th insurrection, right? That's the one thing that they didn't really seem to care to dig too deep into whatsoever. And, of course, we still don't have all the answers yet, but we are getting closer to it, right? We are getting a little bit more information on what's going on with that.
One of the things, though, because
right. Right.
Like Ray Epps did. They didn't want to dig in that guy's backyard either, man.
Right. Yeah, we talked. Yeah, we went into that one on the last episode, man. That one's a bit of a zinger.
But like I said, it's a number. You know what I mean? It's one of a few.
Yeah. But and then we also got Fannie Willis, the person going after Donald Trump, basically caught up in some scandalous stuff with.
Hey man, the way you're saying her name was seriously racist.
Yeah, I know, but then again, I mean, it's the Liberty Bowl. What do you expect? Like we sugarcoat nothing around here. All right, but let's go ahead and get started real quick with a bit of information from the Iowa caucus, man. So let's go ahead and let's talk about Nikki Haley real quick. We're going to start out with the video. So basically, Nikki Haley has tried to pull a Trump card, to say the least, and she's refusing to debate, right? Yeah, that's beneath her now. She's so far ahead, because obviously this is clearly just a 2-person race now. And Nikki Haley is a nightmare. Nikki, I fucking actually posted you I actually really appreciate Nikki Haley for giving us a clear cut prime example of what a bought and paid for politician looks like.
Yeah, for sure, man. She's absolutely delusional, man. I mean, I'm sure you're going to go with the clip right now, so I don't want to say too much, but yeah, absolutely fucking delusional.
Yeah, here we go, man. So Nikki Haley switching her views on every presidential topic in 1 minute, right?
I would not run if President Trump ran. I'm Nikki Haley, and I'm running for president. I will not now, not ever, support raising the gas tax. Let's increase the gas tax by 10 cents over the next 3 years. A huge issue that I'll deal with as soon as I get there is social media. They need to verify every single person on their outlet and I want it by name. I never said government should go and require anyone's name. I think China's been a really great friend of ours. To view China as an enemy. That was not what I intended to say. I do not think we need to pull money from the UN. The UN, the only thing is we would defund the UN as much as possible.
When a 12-year-old child in this country assigned female at birth says, actually, I feel more comfortable living as a boy, what should the law allow the response to be?
Well, I think the law should stay out of it, and I think parents should handle it. I think there should be federal involvement. You should not have any gender-altering anything done to a child before the age of 18.
All right. Well, at least you know where she stands, right?
You'd hope. And just for everyone out there, if you want to see that video in higher quality, come on by the old Liberty Swine page and you can check that out.
Right. Yep. So, of course, links to all of our platforms are in the description. I don't believe I have your TikTok link in there, but again, it's TikTok. Yeah, go ahead and find this guy on TikTok, on social media, YouTube. We're all over the place, man. All the links are in the description. We appreciate you guys stopping by. But yeah, definitely fucking hilarious shit, man. I mean, that's Nikki Haley in a nutshell right there. You don't know what the fuck she stands for. She basically she stands for fucking power. She stands for her donors, right? That's like I said, dude, she is the prime example of what a bought and paid for politician looks like.
Yeah, and I can tell you, for anyone on the right, man, if you want to know where that line of thinking's headed, the old let's back Haley. Paul Ryan just came out and endorsed her, man, and says that he believes that she's going to win New Hampshire. So, this is, hex and cross here, man. It's, she's a full-on Democrat. She's chosen and being funded by Democrats. We have states that do asinine things like primary voting day, fucking votes, or party affiliation switching. So, there's pretty corroborated stories already coming out of Iowa that they actually ran out of switch ballots to switch people from Democrat to Republican to vote for this chick. So they had to leave several times to go to other polling stations to get more. And supposedly, allegedly, whatever you want to call it, man, this is, the reason that she won one of 99 counties in Iowa. And apparently, that was like the test run, and, they're going to try the same shit in other places.
Yep. Obviously, it's not going to work, though, man. Trump has way too much of a lead. I don't even think that the Democrats could even organize, that type of shit. If they put out an actual message, like on a bulletin board, or fucking got a billboard telling all the Democrats in this state to go and register as Republicans so they could vote for Nikki Haley in the primary, I still don't think that they even have the anything to beat Trump, man. As we saw with these poll numbers, man, at the Iowa caucus, dude, Trump, it was a landslide, right? You got Nikki Haley out here trying to say it's a 2-person race now. Honestly, Nikki Haley like goes over.
That's what I thought the clip you were gonna say. That's why I didn't say nothing earlier. That's why I stopped my comment, man. The 2-person race. Like you came in third, and she's gonna stand on the fucking stage and say this is a 2-person race. Like that's beyond delusional. Like that's don't believe your eyes and ears. Just look at the Riri on the stage, man.
Yeah. If you want even an even clearer picture of what people think of Nikki Haley, even her own supporters. This is Governor Chris Sununu. Have you seen this video yet? Both of them look fucking cracked out, to say the least.
Yeah, but his facial expressions are fucking hilarious.
Right.
Language and shit.
You don't even really need the sound too much. She's basically just talking about her Democrat voters. Let's see.
A grassroots network. They're picking one Democrat donor, but they're not looking at all of them. I will tell you, the number one, this is a grassroots network. They're picking one Democrat donor.
He's like, what the fuck, man?
Right.
The number one grassroots network.
Right. Yeah,
they're picking one Democrat donor, but they're not looking at all of them.
Right. So what she's talking about is basically like we were just saying, the Democrats are basically backing Nikki Haley, and that's what she's talking about. And she really just throws herself under the bus even further here. She's like, they're talking about one Democrat donor. That's it. What about all the other fucking Democrats that I get money from? They're not even looking into those. Like,
yeah, and it's and she's just saying that because the one guy that she's speaking on, he's a Democrat mega donor, owns like a Cash App or something similar, and is a number one against Trump, is funding lawsuits, stuff like that. It's Reid Hoffman, man, and of course supposedly he's on the Epstein list too, and is funding lawsuits to remove Trump across on the ballots across the country, and yada yada.
Right.
And he's also funding E. Jean Carroll. He's also funding her legal fees to try to drain Trump sickles of as much cash as possible.
Right. Like, I mean, when they start pulling out the Me Too movement, fucking cases and shit, that's when they ain't got much left. They basically, what they do is they look into people's past, and basically anybody that you may have had contact with, or even anybody that's willing to fucking sell their soul to go ahead and lie and fucking put a case on you. Yeah, they'll go for it. That's one of their main forms of attack. Well, I mean, it was historically we're starting to see some wins in court, I guess, here and there. It doesn't have as much weight, and so of course they go to the racism, and then it's all just victim Olympics on the left, right? And so of course that's where they're going with Donald Trumps and shit, but shit, I forgot what we were talking about.
They were talking about this chick's a straight Democrat. Yeah, dude, do not vote. Dude, don't fall for it, man. If you have any kind of right-leaning views at all, this is the last person you should be considering voting for. This is Joe Biden in a fucking dress with a little more cognitive abilities.
Right. Everybody hashtag never Nikki.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So anyway,
thank the old Doc fucking Rand Paul for that. Good movement. That was like, it's pretty good shit.
So I don't give a fuck who wins, as long as it's not Nikki Haley. Good endorsement, man. Good endorsement. Of course, we got our old friend Ronan 2020 in the chat. Welcome to the chat, buddy. He says, how you guys doing? She says, she's not working. She's not wrong. It is a 2-person race. Unfortunately for her, Trump has already tapped her. Trump has already tapped her. Yeah, it's not even a 2-person race. It's done. It's done, dude. Trump. The only thing that they have to stop Trump is lawfare, and that's what they're gonna do. Like down to the point. Like I said, I think it's gonna get
an assassination. That's
right.
That's pretty much it, man.
All right. I mean, to be honest, I don't even know what to think that they're gonna go with. You like it's that fucking crazy here. It's like the last thing that you would expect to happen. The one thing that you're like, oh, that they're never gonna do that. Like they're probably gonna do that and worse this year. Like,
Yeah, that's, I mean, you see in places they're already starting to roll out mask mandates again, and you know what I mean, in smaller areas that people aren't going to notice off rip, and you know what I mean. You see, you know, they're trying to, you know, play the same card. Of course, they just lost a lawsuit where they were trying to re-expand mail-in fucking ballots in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're trying. You know what I
yeah,
mean? They're trying everything they can. Not, you know, and like you said, it is what it boils down to. Basically, is lawfare at this point and or assassination. That's like their only options left at this point, man.
yep, yeah. You know, I predicted they're gonna try it, man. I think they're gonna go for it. The only thing is, like I say, my prediction, you know, is obviously from an optimistic standpoint. I think they're going to obviously fail, and I think that they're going to try and pass it off as that's misinformation. It never happened, you guys. You guys are just trying to, you know, elevate Trump as the great MAGA kings and whatnot. You know, like
Yeah, and like you see, they just keep ramping up the you know, delusional rhetoric. I've seen an article earlier from Rolling Stone where they had a list of things that they claim that Trump's going to do, and most of it you're like, dude, you don't got to sell me. I'm already fucking voting for the guy. But you know, the number one thing was he's going to invade Mexico.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Just yeah.
just the border towns, just the border.
Yeah, but then they're like, you know, he's going to send the military to the border. He's going to round up, fucking inter and you know, deport millions of illegals. And you're just like, fuck yeah, fuck
Right.
yes.
I mean, you're saying a whole bunch of stuff I like, but you're saying it in a tone that sounds like negative. Like, I don't understand. Right? But yeah, if I can, you know, as we see, man, the federal government action at the border right now is it's clearly, you know, nefarious at this point. You know, I mean, the fact that they're actually, you know, starting to take legal action against uh, Texas guy in the wheelchair dude, can't remember his name right now, for basically sending in the National Guard. Oh, Greg Abbott, you know, for
Yeah.
basically the National Guard. They're basically at a standoff right now, you know, and that's why I think a lot of stuff that we didn't think, you know, would happen is probably going to happen this year. Like, you know, we're literally at the point where the federal government is standing and facing the fucking state militia. I mean, state military for the most part, you know.
Yeah, and they're making, you know, crazy ass claims, just like previously. Like I remember when the whole horsewhip ordeal, where they swear that the Border Patrol was whipping these guys with you know, horsewhips and shit.
Yep.
And of course, it all turned out to be, you know, dumb, you know, Jesse Smollett moments. And
Yep.
now you see the same thing: a mother and a child drown, you know, crossing the river. And they at first they tried to make the claim that it was because of the military there stopping the Border Patrol from doing their job, as if their job is to fucking save people crossing the river. And then it turns out that it happened hours before the military was even there. So you know what I mean? And it's just, you know, they're just going to bold face lie to everybody that they possibly can. And at this point, it's nothing's off the table. I mean, they're you know, willing to do and say whatever, man.
Yeah, and that's why I say if it does, you know, get, you know, past the point of this year, you know, and to the point where, you know, if Trump does end up winning and we do end up getting, you know, the stuff that he's been promising, you know, the mass deportation, all that, just with the way that the media is, the way that they portray things, do you imagine the way that they're going to portray, you know, Donald Trump in terms of, you know, this mass deportation? Do you think could you imagine the way that they're going to, you know, portray the rounding up of you know, 8 million people? Basically, it's going to be a.
You're going to have the entire squad crying in front of an empty parking lot this time instead of just AOC, bro.
I think it's like I say. I think that's like that's you know, cutesy time. I think that was cutesy time, and as Dan Bongino says, cutesy time is over. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But I mean, you know, you already have, you know, them planning this shit, you know what I mean? As far as like what they're going to do, like, they're already like putting out open letters trying to convince fucking the military to not follow fucking orders. And, you know,
as I'm pulling them up right now. So we got this this article here from Time Magazine. As I did clip this from the Bongino show. He actually did request people to actually clip this and share this out. So it says the secret history of the shadow campaign that saved the 2020 election by Molly Ball. This is February 4th, 2021. It says there was a conspiracy unfolding behind the scenes, one that both curtailed the protests and coordinated the resistance from CEOs. Both surprises were the results of an informal alliance between left-wing activists and business titans. The pact was formalized in a terse little notice joint statement of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce and AFL-CIO published on Election Day. Both sides would come to see it as a sort of implicit bargain inspired by the summer's massive, sometimes destructive, racial justice protests in which the forces of labor came together with the forces of capital to keep the peace and oppose Trump's assault on democracy.
On democracy.
Right. So basically saying without saying, you know, the Summer of Love riots were basically funded, and they're basically saying that they're planning for the possibility of it having to go down again. All right, so let's see. This one is August 3rd, 2020. Preventing a disrupted presidential election and transition by Transition Integrity Project. Everyone interested in protecting the legitimacy of the election and transition planning process needs to make plans now for how to respond in the event of a crisis. If there is a crisis, events will unfold quickly and sleep-deprived leaders will be asked to make consequential decisions quickly. Thinking through options now will help to ensure better decisions. Planners need to take seriously the notion that this may well be a fight may well be a street fight, not a legal battle. All right, go ahead and repeat that as it's highlighted. This may well be a street fight, not a legal battle. Technocratic solutions, courts, and a reliance on elites observing norms are not the answer here. All right, so that last one basically says it all. Right, they have contingency plans, right, set in place. I mean, they're basically planning for, you know, mass fucking riots, mass protests, uprisings, all that type of stuff in the event of a non-peaceful protest.
And so anybody that like to have read that whole first time article, it's pretty long. It's actually about 5 paragraphs long. They get into much more detail. I have it on my pages everywhere but TikTok because they fucking struck me for it. Called it Election Integrity Strike. But I have it put to some little clown music, scroll through it, and you can slow it down or speed it up or what have you. But and then if you'd like to have it for yourself, man, hit us up, send it to you. It's pretty in depth, and they tell you how they stole the 2020 election, and that's the reason I'm sure we're allowed to say that on the Juice Tubes now, because it's fucking out there in Time magazine, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, yeah. It's not like they have any sort of credibility or anything like that, right? It's probably just like Time magazine. Anybody ever heard of them? I don't know.
Let's not forget that Hitler was Time magazine man of the year twice.
Right. And then now fucking Donald Trump is fucking the public enemy number one, right? So I mean, what does that really tell you? I mean, the fucking enemy of the state is the fucking champion of the people. Always remember that. But I would say we got Ronan 2020 says better them in the FEMA camps than the U.S. citizens, right? Of course, referring to the mass amount of immigrations and the mass deportation of Trump, right? Mass deportations by Trump. You got to have a mass deportation of Trump.
They love that.
Right. Like, you deport them MAGAs out of here.
Yep. MAGA Town, Mexico, dude.
Right. At that point, dude, like if history doesn't recognize, like, this was the dumbest conquest in human history. They literally convinced the people that they are bad, and then they basically loaded up the citizens of their own nation. A bunch of fucking immigrants came and loaded up the citizens of that nation onto ships and basically deported them out of their own country.
Some of the most productive in their fucking society, and fucking good times, man.
Right, man. Fucking clown world. Please don't let that be our history, man. Please. Jesus fucking Christ, dude. That, like I say, either way, we are living through history. And the good thing is, at least we're lucky enough to be aware that we're living through history. I still see a lot of people just walking around out there just like nothing's going on, or just, I mean, of course I understand, I used to be I used to be part of the, not giving a shit, nihilist fucking, I guess mentality, back in the days and stuff. So I guess I see how a lot of people don't give a shit, but at the same time, it's just like, dude, like, it's getting bad. Like worse than fucking your history books, can put it,
It's the fucking clown world, man. You know what I'm saying? The memes are great and fucking the podcasts are fire, but man, I sure miss fucking, normalcy and American fucking culture, bro. Americana, man.
Right. Yeah.
You hate to say it, but it's like the way the country was, post 2001 was, it's like fucking freedom fries, bro. Like you weren't even allowed to order French fries for a while. You know what I mean? Like it was like America or nothing, son. And you don't want a tragedy to strike, of course, man. But unifying fucking moments in history really go a long way. I mean, carried us for close to a decade.
Right. So I mean, let me go ahead and break down two of my best worst case scenarios in terms of how this would roll out. Right. So, worst case scenario, I've pretty much broke that down in, previous weeks and all this and that type of shit. It's basically the perfect storm. All this shit fucking hits the fan, fucking the lefties fucking rise up and all this and that. But the way that this should play out. Right. And so I'm just, follow me, this playbook, the way that this should play out is, like you said, we have a resurgence of, Americana as we're seeing. Actually, it is happening. It's just, of course, it's waking up people one spark of liberty at a time, and really it's, the more that they push us into this sort of a, tyranny, the more people wake up, each day. And it really is, it's one-sided at this point, just like, how for the, past few decades, it's been one-sided. Basically more and more people would move to the left. And that the left-wing policy would more and more move to the left. I think we're starting to see that on the right, but that's why they're trying to push us into actually having some sort of a, physical coup or something like that. So I think the best case scenario would be for us to absolutely avoid that, continue to, push, what America used to be, what America could be, as long as we get back to our roots. And I think that will eventually win out the left as they continue to get more desperate in their attempts. Of course, yes, more violence and stuff, may erupt. Especially, like I say, if Trump does end up winning, which all fucking metrics and measures are looking in, like that's the probability right now. It's too late in the game for them to really kind of switch out anybody. But at the same time, Democrat voters for the most part are idiots and would vote for a fucking potato as long as it has a D next to it. Right. So that doesn't really matter. But at the same time, they don't have any viable people. So I think best case scenario, we stay the course. We continue fucking putting out, shows like this. We continue to fucking, educate people that we meet. And I think, there's probably going to be some sort of a like left-wing Antifa uprising. But I think by the point, I'm saying during Trump's next presidency, but I think at that point it's going to be fucking quashed. They're just going to be fucking like, shut the fuck up, dude. You guys get the fuck out of here. You fucking, little weirdos in fucking black masks and weekend warrior motherfuckers, So I think that would be the best case scenario for us to go that course, And then of course, once, resurgence of, American pride comes about, that's when we have a, resurgence of businesses and all this and that, and everything gets back to we drill, baby, drill. And, Trump goes and settles all, cools everything down around the world. And, people start putting trust in the American dollar again. And like I say, that I think that's best case scenario. So in other words, all that we need to do is don't let the, just like I say, keep fucking, informing people, keep putting it in front of everybody's faces as much as you can, keep slapping them with the memes and shit. And I think we're going to end up winning this culture war as long as we don't end up falling for their little tricks and shit, as long as we don't end up taking the bait that they're going to be leaving everywhere. I think that we can possibly get back to a better America,
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that takes some serious time, man. It's just like it
Oh
took
yeah,
time to turn it to what it is now. Fucking, it's the same process. And like the Ron Paul thing, right? I mean, I've been fucking with this shit for over a decade now myself, and it's kind of you've had people warning you saying the same shit that entire time. You know what I mean? From congressmen to Alex Jones. I mean, that guy was there saying the same shit. And it seems like no matter what, people don't listen. Like it has to get bad. You know what I mean? They have to not be able to eat or afford fucking heat or what have you. Like I said, you don't want tragedy to strike, but it seems that like that's the only thing that wakes up people in mass.
right. I mean, that's definitely what's going to be. Like I said, I think the final push, and I'm hoping, like I said, in my my minimalist white pill, view, I think there's still going to be some sort of big thing going on, but I think it's going to be something like a left wing Antifa, fucking terror, fucking spree around the country, or a Palestinian fucking terror spree around the country, or something. Like I say, something still major, but I think it's still going to be something that's going to leave a scar on the American people, and we're going to be able to quash it fucking almost instantly,
Yeah, I mean, even the previous Summer of Love and shit, could be quashed immediately. I mean, we're talking about the most powerful fucking state on the planet, man. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could be put down easily, and that's something that we've talked about before. I've had issue with, like Trump, for instance. Like the man, if anything, he didn't wield power enough. You know what I mean? He didn't use the power that was available to him. And, while, he was up speaking out about the, summer of gloves and the BLMs and whatnot, he could have took action, but instead he was worried about being called a fascist, but they're calling him one anyway. And, I mean, things like cutting taxes and fucking bringing troops home, he's orange hatlers. You know what I mean? So, I mean, sending in the National Guard to fucking deal with, Seattle and even January 6th, for instance, how it was, well, they turned down the National Guard. You're the fucking president. Send them bitches in, man. You know what I mean? Deal with it, dude. As soon as they started screaming, it's an insurrection across the national television screens, bam, could have been dealt with. You know what I mean?
So I think the thing with that is, like we said, multiple times before, he was a first term president at that point. He was working on re-election. This time around, I think he's going to learn from a lot of the mistakes. Of course, a lot of the litmus test is going to be who he picks for his cabinet and shit. Who he surrounds himself with. That's going to be the big test as to whether he learned anything from his first presidency or not. But either way, this time around, like I say, he's not going to have that re-election hindrance holding him back. And so I think with Trump, like the reason that like different type of movements, like the Ron Paul movement, hadn't really taken off, like to the point where the MAGA movement is just because people love a star, right? Of course, people love a star. That's what really kind of got him into the position in the first place. And then now people love an anti-hero, and that's
Trump. As far as the star thing, like they just couldn't stop him. He was too big of a star as far as to getting his voice out there. Like Ron Paul was breaking attendance records, you know what I'm saying, at the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he was by far, it was like comparing Trump's to Biden's. It was like that with fucking Ron Paul and Obama. You know what I mean? Like it was, thousands of people outside of the gathering, man, that couldn't even get in and shit, and they just refused to even mention his name half the time. I mean, you even had a leftist like Jon Stewart on the Daily Show losing his mind because like the Haley 2-person race, like they're mentioning Obama and Romney, but and they're saying and Michelle Bachmann, but she's fourth, and they're like, behind who? Like they wouldn't even say his fucking name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And with Trump, they try to do the same thing, several times. Like you got your MSNBC that refuses to play his speech in Iowa, shit like that. There, but he's just too big. It doesn't matter if 2, 3, 5, even 8 refuse to do it. There's 20 other ones that are going to give the man a platform because it's going to shoot their fucking ratings up, man.
Yeah. So I said, the people love a star, man. Like he has that star power, and that's what I think put him in the position where he's able to put the the message of basically all these motherfuckers are corrupt, dude, and I can prove it.
Right.
And basically, I think that's what won over the people: the fact that they couldn't silence him. they could not, and they still can't, try as they might, they still cannot silence the man. Everything that they throw at him, like I say, he is the definition of the Teflon Don.
And he works like a machine. Like, you got the DeSantis fucking, little Twitter trolls right now running around like, nobody works to get the votes like Ron. Dude, Trump was in Iowa, dude, did the speech, was up late as shit, and court the next morning.
Right.
Gets out of court, immediately flies to New Hampshire. Fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
And he's almost fucking 80. You know what I mean? He works like a machine.
Yep. The dude's a fucking beast, like I say, and like the more every single day his support is growing, among fucking every community, among every demographic, he's growing every single day, and the more he grows, the more and more discredited the mainstream media becomes, the more and more discredited the narrative becomes, and of course, the more and more time goes by, and the more proof comes out. The more and more their narrative gets destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, the dude won me over. You know what I'm saying? In 2015, when he announced, I was laughing. This is a fucking joke. You know what I mean? I'm Rand Paul all the way, man. You know what I mean? And I could possibly vote for Ben Carson, and I was one of those people that was laughing at cats calling it. Like Trump's gonna win. Oh, this guy's not. This is a fucking publicity stunt, and
Yep.
But by the end of it, he was the last one standing. Of course, I wasn't going to vote for Hillary. I gave him my vote. He won, and the dude's just become 10 times larger since.
So at the 2016 election, I didn't really know anything about the election at all, but I do remember when they announced that Trump had won and that he's going to be the next president. I was sitting in county jail. And I was getting ready to go to prison. I had just gotten busted. I remember I saw the infamous shriek, while I was sitting in county jail. Yeah, and like I said, I missed the entire Trump presidency. I got out in January of 2019. 2019, I was basically just out of prison, just starting to get, back on my feet and stuff like that. So I didn't really get to live the whole, hey, things are great right now, but, and then of course, 2020, that was, the beginning of COVID and everything. And,
COVID 1984.
Yep. And, of course, COVID is what basically kind of woke me up to, like, wait a minute, this is kind of stupid. This is kind of bullshit. Like, how that was basically my wake up.
Then
call.
You got to spend a whole bunch of time locked in a truck with me, man.
Right. Yep. Next thing you know, a couple books later, and here I am.
It's a party out here.
Fuck yeah. Anyway, what's your thoughts on the old January 6th pipe bombing video getting released?
I think it's just one more thing that shows you that it's a fucking honeypot, that the shit was a complete sham, that it was orchestrated down to, like I just said earlier, about Pelosi and the gang supposedly refusing security, the sergeant at arms or whatnot. Apparently the sergeant at arms of the Senate and the Congress and Pelosi denied fucking extra security. It's about time that something like this had come out, period, for the simple fact that you've heard about it, bombs, pipe bombs outside of the RNC, the DNC, but that was it. That was basically it. And then, like you were stating earlier, they were digging into just freshly treated for cancer grandmothers, but this went away without you hearing shit about it.
Right. So basically, what's been going on? Unfortunately, I cannot get us out of the timestamp area, so we can't really see the timestamp. So that's basically where we're at. But basically, Bongino does of course the best breakdown of it, of course, being an ex-Secret Service agent. But basically, what happened was, the person over here discovers. You can't really see my mouse, I guess. But so person off to the right of the screen goes ahead and discovers this here bomb. Let me go ahead and back it up a bit. right? So that person that just came from the right of the screen basically discovered the bomb. And they go walk up to this. Is that Capitol Police?
Yeah, there's Capitol Police and then federal officers in the black truck.
Right. Okay. So Capitol Police. So it has also come out. Of course, I'm not too sure. I don't have the article, but it has also come out that he is a former Capitol Police officer and is basically working as a plainclothes officer at this time. All right. So basically, he goes and walks up to the police car, and then he's going to walk over here to the Secret Service car, and the timestamp. And he walks up to the police car is at 1:05 and 40 seconds. He's then going to walk over to the passenger side, tell the other police officer. And then he's going to walk over to the Secret Service officers and tell them. And I don't have the other videos pulled up at the moment, but it's basically they seem to show no interest.
And keep in mind that the government
what's
has
going on
fucking
here.
pipe bombs listed as weapons of mass destruction. So, you know.
Right. And, of course, this is also with Kamala Harris, soon to be vice president, in this building right back here.
Right. The vice president-elect.
Just literally feet away. And this is Secret Service basically giving a non-reaction. I'll see if I could find the other video right now in a second, but it's basically a Secret Service giving a completely non-reaction to what's going on here, right? And of course, like I said, you should definitely watch the Bongino episode. He definitely breaks it down real good, of course, from the perspective of a Secret Service, former Secret Service agent, and basically he does say that Right. And so he basically says that, them not like, oh, everybody slow down. That's not abnormal. It's basically, he calls it don't shit the bed. Basically don't panic and, freak everybody out and shit. Basically, but how long they took afterward is what the real issue is. Right. Basically. Okay. So, if you're not panicking, like, have you called anything in? Like, why is the vice president elect still sitting feet away? Like, why have you not started cordoning this place off? Why have you not started taping the area off? Why are there still kids walking by? I'll see if I can find the video right now in just a second.
They never let a catastrophe go to waste, and that's the real reason they'll let kids walk by, because they actually want something to happen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they keep pushing and doing shit in your face to taunt and incite, and nothing incites people more than kids being injured or killed. And of course, they could blame it on extreme Z right wing violence because it's the Democratic elected fucking VP. And that's the reason that, you find out, obviously, that there was one outside of the RNC as well. And because, they didn't care which one. You know what I mean? As long as something could pop off.
So let's see. It's at about 1:06:20 that the other Secret Service car had been notified, right? So this video, it's the full video. Well, I guess that the full one of this little clip right here of them notifying the police officer. It's about 7 minutes long. And yeah, it's, they basically don't do much about it. Right. They'll go ahead and just let it kind of play in the background, man. But, yeah, they definitely, they wanted something to happen. Right. Then that's why I say what really kind of perplexes me about the whole situation is the fact that they basically have shined it off, all the way up until now, basically the same way that they did with Ray Epps. And then now reluctantly, and, by, after being coerced, they then go ahead and release the video. All right. And so that's basically, of course, the Democrats, they're they basically play like everybody's fucking stupid. Right. So that's they would clearly do something that ridiculous, like obviously plant a pipe bomb and then just pretend like, oh, nothing to see here after it doesn't go off properly, or whatever, even if it did go off properly, then they'd just be like, "Oh, cool. It must have been the Republicans." And of course, they would still slow walk releasing all this footage, just same way they did with the January 6th footage in general, right?
I believe they didn't detonate it because if you see there, I mean, there's no Republicans outside. They were hoping there was going to be some kind of protest or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Then they probably would have detonated it.
Right. Yeah. Yep. But I don't know, the pictures are basically it's a crude pipe bomb. It's like a crude pipe with two caps and basically an hammer. I mean, don't ask me. I've never made a fucking pipe bomb before, obviously, so I don't know what the fuck how they're made or anything. But I mean, it looks pretty damn cheesy. It looks like a prop almost.
It's cheesy. It'll blow a hole in the street, though, man. Yeah.
Right.
Fucked with a few as a young guy.
Yeah. Good times. Good times.
Yeah. And if you really want to fuck people up, you put loose nuts and bolts in the motherfucker, man.
Right. If you really want to visit from the ATF, you keep going.
Right.
But yeah, so we are now at 1 minute 8 seconds, or basically a minute 9. And they have slowly kind of walked out, kind of popped the trunk on the police car here, and still no sense of urgency going on whatsoever. All right, so I guess this is the point where they've been notified. They go ahead and kind of look over here at the bench where it's at. I guess it's down here somewhere, and then yeah. Still, again, with old camel toes, right back there, right back there in that building. So again, there's not much context that we could really kind of put to this one, other than the fact that it's weird. It's weird to say the least. Again, it's something that the Democrats have been seemingly uninterested in for whatever reason. And yeah, that's really kind of the only context we could put to it, other than the fact that they're evil fucking people, and these people like I said, apparently have no sense of urgency whatsoever, and after discovering that there is a bomb within feet of them.
And all of a sudden, let's kick it in gear, man. Some cameras around, buddy.
All right. All right, people's is watching.
Cops.
Don't worry, it's never going to get released.
I think I could outrun that cop, man.
Right.
That's Capitol Police. He ain't chasing you. He's running you over.
All right. Shit, he's fucking aiding and abetting you. What are you talking about? Yeah, so basically, what was it, about 4 or 5 minutes later? Yeah. Now at a minute 11. And now they're getting to work. Now they're starting to slowly move out of the way. Everybody's still got their masks and shit. I could always tell the era, when I see motherfuckers with masks on everywhere, like in videos and shit. It's like, yep. That was the old Koofs fucking era.
I always got to put it to clown music.
Right. The one thing I have kind of noticed, man, everybody's always like, especially like people like Anomaly, like I say, his biggest thing was like in the lockdowns. That's like his public enemy number one moment, right? And so the thing that with us here in Arizona and stuff, like the lockdowns weren't really that bad. Like they closed bars and restaurants and stuff like that, but I mean for the most part, shit, I still went to fucking work every goddamn day. You know, I still saw people driving all over town every damn day. You know, like people still in the stores all the damn time. You know, they only closed down certain stores, but you know, people are still in the Walmarts and fucking Fry's and all that shit every day. Like, it didn't really seem like much changed, you know, here in Arizona, as compared to, you know, a lot of the other places where it's much more I guess, you know, detrimental to their psyches, you know, like where they're actually, you know, like, oh, you better not be walking around town. Otherwise, you know, fucking, we're going to pull you over and, you know, that type shit. You better not be walking alone on the beach. Otherwise, we're going to fucking go out there and get your ass. Like, I mean, we didn't get that dystopian here. You know, I think that the worst thing I remember, as per like, you know, policing the public and shit was, basically if you're riding the bus, you know, you have to have a stated destination where you're going to. But yeah, other than that, I didn't really see them doing too much. You know, other, like I say, other than closing down businesses and shit. But that's government tyranny. You know, government tyranny. You know.
Yeah, I had to switch careers fucking mid-COVID fucking lockdown, dude. You know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't gonna hang out and collect unemployment or no dumb shit, dude. I got motherfuckers to take care of. So, you know, other than that, I mean, I stayed working. I worked the whole time, but you know what I mean? This, you know, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you know, you get dirty looks because I wasn't wearing no fucking mask anywhere and shit. It was fuck you. That's why, of course. You know what I mean? But you know, that's about it. That's the gist of it, man. When motherfuckers ask me a mask, I just act like I ain't even understand them. Shit, just keep walking, son. Fuck,
right. Yeah, so many videos from that era of, you know, just people freaking out on either direction. Right. You know, like fuck your mask, you know, like fuck you and your fucking mask, you know. And then of course you had the other people freaking out, like where's your mask? You know, good times, man. I mean, terrible times, but you know, for entertainment and content, good times.
Right. Yeah, you're gonna have to arrest me, dude.
Right. You're not wearing a mask? like seriously?
Right. Off to the gulags, re-education camps.
Right.
You see that, dude? Fucking speaking of which, old Jordan Peterson lost his appeal in the courts up there in Toronto, man, to not have to go to re-education camp. Yeah.
Oh, dude, that's some.
Yeah, but you know him. He's like, battle just started, and he's like, you know, his deal. Like, if they jail me, I'll go on a hunger strike. Fucking, you know, I mean, you know how he rolls, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He'll cry to you while telling you, but you know the shit he's telling you, he's like, "You fuck you, man." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. And does he even really have to fucking practice psychology in Canada anymore? Like, I think it's just really a thing of principle at this point, right?
I mean, he'll lose, you know, he basically, you know, he won't be a licensed clinical fucking psychologist anymore, man. You know what I mean? He'll be a, you know, previously known as, you know what I'm saying?
That's what happens when you're born in Canada, dude. Like, whenever you decide to be born, make sure it's not Canada. Right? I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, he's signed to the Daily Wire. I mean, really, he could fucking come here and move to Florida and fucking live in the sun and just make content, man. Like, and you know, but he can,
like I said, does he really need to practice fucking psychology in Canada?
No, ultimately, no. But you know, think about that though. You know, you go to school for years, man, and slave to get that fucking doctorate, and then they just strip you of it because you refuse to have your speech compelled by the threat of fucking imprisonment. You know what I mean?
Right. You must feel like fucking Dr. Robert Malone at that point, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Or Peter McCullough.
You're right. For those, if you know, you know.
Right. Yeah, if you're on the juice tubes, you probably don't know.
Right. All right. Let me go ahead and just pop up a quick. I don't know, I guess we'll go ahead and start with the first part of this little Javier Milei speech right here.
Okay. Yeah.
So this was fucking great, man. So this is basically them introducing Javier Milei. I have so many videos pulled up here, I can't even find it.
That's me. I got so many news tabs open. It just shows an infinity symbol in the corner.
Right. All right. So there's the full half an hour video. Did you watch the full video?
No, I just watched the clips, man. Of course, I watched, you know, the the Twitter zones fucking and Instagrams versions.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I can't sit through, you know, a whole WEF fucking
Right. I checked it out.
Lizard fucking gathering. I said I checked some shit. I checked different people, you know, speaking, and you know what I mean, especially representatives of the EU, because they're the most reptilian. They're pushing the hardest for fucking censorship and shit. You know what I mean?
See if this one.
They're like, we're jailing our people for like Facebook posts. Like, you guys should be too.
Right. Misinformation and disinformation is the most dangerous thing to our society right now. All right, so this is basically the introduction of Javier Milei. It's basically the opening of his speech, or the first minute, and then we'll go ahead and play the last 10 seconds. Basically, is his final remarks, but it is a pretty good one. You know, he basically he's of course has a background as an economist, so he basically breaks down why socialism sucks in mathematical terms.
Not just an economist, a Milton Friedman economist, man. That's
right. he breaks down mathematically why you're a fucking idiot. Like, why all you fucking people are fucking evil. But this is basically how he goes ahead and starts it out.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much. Today, I'm here to tell you that the Western world is in danger. And it is endangered because those who are supposed to have to defend the values of the West are co-opted by a vision of the world that inexorably leads to socialism and thereby to poverty. Unfortunately, in recent decades, motivated by some well-meaning individuals willing to help others, and others motivated by the wish to belong to a privileged caste, the main leaders of the Western world have abandoned the model of freedom for different versions of what we call collectivism. We're here to tell you that collectivist experiments are never the solution to the problems that afflict the citizens of the world. Rather, they are the root cause. Do believe me, no one better placed than us, Argentines, to testify to these 2 points.
The man's
basically, you guys have...
Go ahead, man.
You have no solutions. You are the problem.
Right, dude. The man's a fucking superstar. For real, dude. This dude came out of fucking left field as far as we're concerned here in America.
Good afternoon.
And dude, just a
thank you very
fucking
much.
Monster.
Fuck yeah, dude. Dude's there we go. Alrighty. Yeah, my bad. I was having audio problems back there.
Oh, good, dude. He's a fucking murderer, man. You know what I mean? This guy here is producing some fucking pretty dope t-shirt fucking designs coming for your eyes soon, man. Wearing one now, obviously, but yep, there it is, dude.
As a matter
fucking
of fact,
the shit right here, man. That's
right.
that gives you a little taste of what old Javier's about, bro.
Yep. Of course, don't have them just yet. Whenever I do have those, I'll go ahead and post the link to where you could get them in the description. If you're in Arizona, though, you could just go ahead and hit me up, and I'll get them to you somehow. But this is basically his closing remarks.
Do not surrender to the advance of the state. The state is not the solution. The state is the problem itself. You are the true protagonists of this story. And rest assured that as from today, Argentina is your staunch, unconditional. Thank you very much, and long live freedom. Damn it.
Damn it.
Do not surrender to the advance of the state. The state is the solution.
Damn it.
Yep, good shit, man.
Yeah, this is the whole 23-minute video. If you guys want to go ahead and check it out, it's on my X page. All right, you don't want to dead name him.
It's the exosphere, dude.
Right. And of course, we got this video. This video, man. So this, of course, the Swine over here has more information on who this guy is. I just found this dude today, right? So apparently this, it's obviously a mock-up video of what should be said at the World Economic Forum. You want to go ahead and introduce the dude real quick, man?
Go ahead, play the video first.
All right.
And I appreciate the World Economic Forum providing me the opportunity to be on this stage and say, fuck you, Klaus Schwab, and fuck your New World Order. We, the people, were born free, we will stay free, and you and all of your globalist friends, including everyone in this room, can go fuck yourself. And I...
Fucking great shit, man.
Hell yeah. It's what is it? Damon Amani, that's his name. And yeah, dude's great, makes videos like this all the time, man. It puts himself in the show The View on a daily basis. Fucking hilarious, dude. Yeah, check him out. I've been following him for a while on Instagram, but obviously he's on Twitter. Alex Jones shares his shit on a regular. Man, good stuff.
Fucking hilarious. This is the follow-up one that he did.
So yesterday I stood on this stage and said some things that I should not have said. But we all deserve a second chance. So I would like to apologize to absolutely no one. None of you were elected to show us how we should live our lives. All of you motherfuckers took your private jets to show up to this meeting, so don't lecture us about the environment. I ain't eating bugs, you can eat these nuts, and once again, you and your fake climate agenda can go fuck. So yes.
Fucking hilarious, man.
Yeah, he's got hundreds of videos, man. He just bangs them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's 100% right, man. These people are fucking evil, dude. These people are fucking monsters, as we're gonna see here in a minute. I got a whole bunch of videos pulled up from the Davos stuff. Of course, well, we'll start shortly with. I don't want to play this whole video. I'll be honest, it does give me a bit of a headache. But the opening ceremony for the World Economic Forum, pretty fucking weird, man. I don't know.
yeah, it's some strange shit, man.
Right. I mean, they got fucking Elizabeth Warren on stage, doing some sort of weird ass ceremony. Like, I don't know what the fuck's going on, man.
They got this chick hacking all over him, dude, talking about
right.
The virus X and whatnot, man.
It's a super spreader event. Right. Take this virus back to your home countries.
Got a comment on the fucking comments on YouTube. Motherfucker says that she's my wife.
Freaking great. Yeah, it is some weird fucking shit, man. So of course, I don't even remember what this one is. Let's go ahead and check this one out. So this is the French people want their country back from the globalists and are taking to the streets. France saw massive revolts in 23 and may be heading for another period of turmoil as globalists in Davos meet. Obviously, to the needs and desires of the French people, the spirit of defiance is strong in France. Macron is with his cult leader Klaus Schwab in Davos while the plight of the French continues to be ignored.
Yeah,
so basically the French...
You're not seeing this, man. Across the West, it's like this, dude. Across the West, except for here. Here, the only people that are in the streets are the freeze Philistines. It's the same BLM fucks that were burning cities down in fucking 2020. Now they're stopping traffic with Palestine flags.
Right. Right. Like another one of my designs I have is the fucking the Panama shooter. Of course, that one. Not all heroes wear capes, guys. But yeah, obviously, if we were to have any sort of protest here, over freedom, over fucking immigration, over any of that type of shit. Of course, you already know the way that it's going to be portrayed. Like, the Nazis took to the streets, you guys, to protest human rights and asylum seekers. Like, you already know the way it's going to be portrayed, man. It's
yours is getting tiki torches.
Right.
There's good people on both sides. See, racism.
Right. He didn't denounce it. He didn't say he didn't like them, though.
Yeah, sure he did 30 times before that, but that time he said there was good peoples.
Right. Did you see this? Yuval Harari. This one's actually from TED Talks. It's not, but I mean, it's pretty much
This is Klaus's right hand man. So.
Right. So I mean, it's essentially fucking the Davos crew. Right. Have you seen this one?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, this one's fucking blood boiling. Prepare yourselves, people.
Yeah, I've made a couple shorts of it.
You may find it possible to accept that in the religious field, cooperation is based on fiction. That a lot of people, a lot of strangers come together to build a cathedral or a synagogue or a mosque or go on crusade together because they all believe the same stories about God and heaven and hell and so forth. But what I want to emphasize is that exactly the same thing happens in all other fields of human cooperation, in the legal field, in the political field, in the economic field as well. Take the legal field as an example. Today in the world, many, maybe most legal systems are based on this idea, this belief in human rights. But human rights are just like heaven and like God. It's just a fictional story that we've invented and spread around. It may be a very nice story. It may be a very attractive story. We want to believe it. But it's just a story. It's not a reality. It is not a biological reality. Just as jellyfish and woodpeckers and ostriches have no rights, Homo sapiens have no rights also. Take a human, cut him open, look inside, you find their blood, and you find the heart and lungs and kidneys, but you don't find there any rights. The only place you find rights is in the fictional stories that humans have invented and spread around. And the same thing is also true in the political field. States and nations are also, like human rights and like God and like heaven, they too are just stories. A mountain is a reality. You can see it, you can touch it, you can even smell it. But Israel or the United States, they are just stories, very powerful stories, stories we might want to believe very much, but still they are just stories. You can't really see the United States. You cannot touch it. You cannot smell it.
Right. So basically, if human rights are not a tangible thing, then that must mean they're not real, right?
I mean, you find that rights real when, there's a 9mm in your mouth. But,
right.
It's fucking, this guy's a complete fucking twit, dude. You know what I mean? Like he's saying, animals don't have rights or what have you, but these are the same people that will cordon off, you can't put up a border because of the fucking, the red-tailed swan. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got a right to their fucking migration path, so you can't fucking protect your country. Shit like that, but they don't have rights. And, I agree with them to an extent that, by saying like they're God-given, you could ultimately say that's a made-up story, right? Because, I mean, not everyone believes the same as far as that's concerned. But,
right.
When you fucking declare it, you fight for something, gain power over it, control over it, and, inlay a system, and this is the core belief, it's tangible. You know what I mean? Regardless of the story that brought us to that point, it's been enforced by fucking, violence and death. It's real.
Yep. Yeah. And it's really, it's basically saying that, there's no such thing as culture. Or they're basically trying to destroy culture. They need to destroy, basically any sense of nation or, individualism.
Right. It's the whole one world fucking lizard government, man, that, again, people have been talking about for a good, 12 years or so. And you're always told you're a conspiracy theorist. And here it is rolling out in front of you in real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
These are the unelected leaders of the planet, regardless if, CNN tells you, these people just are just speaking to each other. They have no power. Why do you think world leaders go there? Javier Milei just spoke there, right? The dude is, the brand new elected leader of Argentina. You know what I mean? Why do you think these leaders go there? Because they get instilled with what to do next, man. And everything that these people call out, that's the Green New Deal step by step, is a prime example. They come up with these cockamamie schemes that it's because you're eating beef that fucking, the planet's dying. So they immediately start outlawing fertilizers and, different shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Feeds and, they're wanting to cull cows in different Western countries and so on and so forth. They will fucking starve you because these reptiles said cow farts are warm in the joint.
Right, but then at the same time, they'll also say, shit like this. They'll talk about, fucking, how terrible the animals are and all that shit. But then at the same time, they'll talk about animal rights. We recognize human rights, but we need to start recognizing environmental rights, right? We don't recognize the trees that have rights. Go ahead and check out this, bullshit ass crazy video.
I mean, ecocide as a word is becoming better known around the world, and the concept is generally mass damage and destruction of nature. But legally speaking, what our organisation and other collaborators aim to do is to have this recognised legally as a serious crime. Because one of the issues that sort of pervades all of this discussion is that we have a kind of cultural, very ingrained habit of not taking damage to nature as seriously as we take damage to people and property. And that, I mean, if you're campaigning for human rights, at least mass murder, torture, all of these things are serious crimes. But there's no equivalent in the environmental space. And so, unlike an international crime like genocide that involves a specific intent, with ecocide, what we see is actually what people are trying to do, what businesses are trying to do, is make money, is farm, is fish, is do all of these things that are, producing energy and so on, as well. But what's missing is the awareness and the conscience around the side effects, around the collateral damage that happens with that.
Right. So we know like nations and, people want prosperity and all that type of stuff. But like, you ever think about what you're doing to my world and my environment?
Yeah, they just make up shit, the ecocide. Like they just made that shit up. And now they're like, it's being known around the planet, right, to the people you're saying it to. You know what I mean? Like
to the fucking wealthy elite that sit around and fucking cup their own farts so they could sniff them. Like, yeah, to you type people, to the people that are just bored with too much fucking power and money. Like those are the only people that really think about this type of shit,
Yeah,
and they,
you have these same people that sit on the stage and tell you this shit, but they will also tell you in candid interviews that they don't want to give up burgers or whatnot. And then they fucking fly around the world in these private jets and shit. But push that off as, well, we have to spread the words, man, the gospels, right? And, their carbon footprint is 10, 20, 100 times what yours is. Al Gore, right? The father of American climate alarmism. Fucking, that guy's carbon footprint on just one of his houses is 100 times the average American.
Right. I'll try and find the video in just a minute about the dude from Rebel Use. What is his name? Avi Yemeni, asking John Kerry about his carbon footprint.
Yeah. Right. What was he says, "Don't be silly" or some nonsense. And,
right.
Basically telling him to shut up and shit. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. These people they're rules for thee, but not for me. Right. And people, like I say, people all over the world are starting to wake up, to the bullshit. Because really it's at the detriment of, these nations. Like I say, they don't give a fuck. They will fucking topple nations. They want to destroy the idea of culture, and they want to destroy basically society in order to rebuild it and reign over the ashes. These people are absolutely fucking insane sociopaths, dude. They're fucking nuts.
Yeah, and they just sit, they have the ultra rich, obviously, again, elite fucks that have too much time on their hands and sit and come up with these elaborate thoughts in their head and then try to fucking institute it on you. And again, they're not elected, and they do this through, investment firms mostly, right? BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, and, they control companies, how they market and everything through funding. And, it's it's straight, boils down to fucking mass propaganda and conditioning. And, COVID 1984 was the old big push, like, look what we can do on a mass scale. And
Right.
you had so many people that kowtowed that you still see fucking driving around by themselves with fucking masks on, that they know they're not going to have a problem for the most part to roll some of the most draconian shit you could possibly think up fucking out on you.
All right. Another country that's basically doing the whole France thing is Germany, right? And basically, they're going after the farmers with their climate change agenda and shit, and they're trying to they're basically taking these farmers' lands. So this is another mass protest over there in the streets of Germany.
Alle zusammen gegen den Faschismus! Alle zusammen gegen den Faschismus! Alle zusammen!
Yeah, they really need to put fucking subtitles for that, dude. I don't know why, man. It just, for some reason, it's just hilarious to see the Germans take to the streets and start chanting shit, man. I don't know. I mean, obviously, you know why, because it brings back you remember the last time the Germans took to the streets to go chant some shit. I mean,
Right.
in mass crowds like that. So,
but they had so many farmers, they're actually now going to the table to renegotiate some bills. And, they've actually accomplished something. Like, they shut down the metro area with tractors and whatnot. And like I said, man, fucking civil upheaval around the West. It's only here that you have so many apathetic, I think. When you have, the weak-wristed French fucking, taking control of their government way more so than we are. Fuck, man. It's sad times.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's just because of the affluence that, the Americans have grown up in. It's back when we first started doing the show, my general sentiment was the American people don't have it in them to fucking, to do another revolution, or have a fucking another civil war, or, anything like that. And that's starting to change. And as we're seeing basically around the rest of the world, a lot of that sentiment is starting to change too. We're a much bigger populist movement all over the world. And that's basically one of the big things that, Davos was focusing on this year, right? They're focusing on things like, misinformation, disinformation. They really kind of abandoned the whole climate agenda, it seems like, this year, except for that, one ecocide, psycho lady. And they're worried about Donald Trumpsy coming back. They're definitely
apparently, this is brought up 45 times during that little reptile fucking get together, man.
Yep. And speaking of which, let me just play this for you guys real quick. Just so you guys know, all right?
Get this, you will never get this. La 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 la. Here behind this cage, crazy, crazy. Everybody laughs. You go, you never get this. But the one time he break a cage and he get this.
Classic little video I made back in the day, little meme video. I think that was at I made that like right after the raid on Mar-a-Lago. Yeah,
good shit, man. The old face changer app and shit.
Yeah,
they separated that. You can't do the voice thing anymore. They put it in 2 different apps now.
Ah, that fucking blows.
Yeah, so if you were like me and bought the lifetime membership, you're fucked now. You got a half app. Good time.
Yeah, I don't think I paid for that one again, because they do like a whole year thing, right?
I did the lifetime thing. Like, I got a deal. It was $35 for lifetime.
Yeah, I think I only did like a year for like 10 or something like that. Let's see. All right. So this one's Klaus Schwab explains that the West has the rights of the individual over the collective, and the East has the rights of the collective over the individual. Right. So that's actually something that I've come to notice more, more recently, and it's basically the whole Eastern versus Western, I guess, idea of spirit and spiritual philosophy and stuff like that. That really kind of is the way that it is, and that's why America, that's why the Western societies are more focused on individualism, whereas opposed to the Eastern societies are more focused on collectivism, and it's just that's the way that it's always been. It's like I say, the Eastern philosophies, they're more kind of about what your role is to the rest of society, whereas the Western philosophies are more about discovering who you are, discovering the way that you can serve a higher power. I like to break it down as to the West, we believe we are the power of belief. That's basically what holds us together, and the East is basically the belief of power, or basically the belief in power. All right, so it's basically believing in what your role is in this giant, powerful thing that is society. Whereas, Western philosophy is discovering yourself in, the giant world. They're basically discovering what makes you an individual and how you can better serve God.
Yeah, man. I think that that's good for like personal fulfillment and whatnot. But I think that without systems like America, like Western fucking capitalist nations, exporting fucking labor, you know what I'm saying? Fucking those people that think like that, while they may be enlightened or what have you, they live like fucking scavages and shit in the street and fucking starve and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And for real, without us hiring them for jobs that they seem to be inept, or adept at, rather. You know what I'm saying? Fucking,
But the Eastern people.
Yeah, like those countries are, the vast majority are, fucking third world hellholes, man. And
I guess that's the good thing about at least having a collectivist mindset, at least somewhere in the world, right? They're basically the worker bees of the world. That's they don't really come up with any new ideas. We send them ideas, and they fucking slap the fucking toys together for us and send them out. So basically, they're good at following instructions and doing what they're told. And that's basically the way that their society functions, because, like I said, their focus is on what your role is to society. It's basically they have a really big focus on the death and destruction of the ego, which are basically the ego is the idea of self.
Right, all that's petty talk, though, man. They got a caste system. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like they actually, the vast majority of them treat each other like shit, and they, like I said, man, sick shit, bro. You can watch videos of kids fucking bathing in streams with a dead cow floating from them, 4 feet away and shit, and just I mean, everyone will be, that's racism. Some cultures are better than others, dude. And like I said, you may be personally fucking feel fulfilled or what have you because of your relationship with God, but I'd much rather have fucking AC and cold beers in the fridge in my back room.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Really, you got one life, dude. And
the idea of your role with God is Western philosophy. The Eastern philosophy does not have a concept of God.
It's God's, right? Like basically, the Bhagavad Gita and fucking man, it's it's always God's,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right. It's basically I guess kind of like prophets, like the Buddha and Confucian and all that type of shit, But either way, and it's all basically a preamble to this clip by Klaus Schwab, basically basically saying that we need to basically make the West more like the East, so that way they're more subservient and ready to serve.
He explained to me, look, you in the Western, based on the history, on enlightenment, you have a concept which protects the individual against the collective. We, based on Confucius, we have more concept which protects the collective against the individual. Today, particularly at times when the individual could have so much power. We have to find a way to harmonize those two concepts.
Right.
Wow, wow, wow. Fucking fail again. You suck again, Bobby. He said based on Confucius. Dude, what the fuck, man? You know what I mean? These fools will do anything to push you towards Chinese fucking communism, dude. You know what I mean? And that's all it boils down to is they want you living in fucking filth. Like the saying that I'll send the clip again. Anybody wants it, what have you. But, the whole, you're going to own nothing and be happy about it. And that's their constant fucking push, regardless of what they say, how eloquent they try to put it, or how his evil accent makes it sound. That's exactly what's cracking.
Right.
Yeah, they'll tag us or fucking, mark us right now, but that is Agenda 2030 now, you know what I'm saying? That's word for word. And I've said it a billion times. You can download fucking, the UN Charter. And again, that tells you that these unelected people dictate. And the UN Charter is telling you everything that these people tell you every year.
All right. Yep. That's why I'm not, I forgot what I was going to say. But yeah, fucking right. Lizards. Let's see if I got any more WEF clips.
Yeah, if there was anyone that, like how you were saying when you played the TED Talk, you said this is really going to piss you off. For me, I mean, sicken you, what have you. You turn on old Klaus, man, and immediately it's like, fuck.
All right.
Public enemy number one right there, bro.
Yep. He's fucking evil.
Right.
All right. So this is election day in Taiwan. So as you guys know, Taiwan just had their election. Again, as we pointed out, at the beginning, basically the nationalist, populist candidate basically ended up winning. So of course that means, as again we predicted, war between China and Taiwan is imminent. Right. So basically, this is the way that they handle their elections in Taiwan.
Comment on YouTube. They want to know, dude. We're not tolerant of Nazis.
We oppose all forms of collectivism. All right, so election day in Taiwan, where ballots are counted by hand and the public is invited to drop by polling stations to watch. Very low tech, very high transparency. Right? It is literally the way that it sounds. It is quite literally, they hold up every single vote. There's a fucking viewing window where the public can watch every single vote. And then there's a person at a chalkboard writes a tally down. Who would have thought elections could really be that fucking simple? Right. Who would have thought it could be that simple to, count ballots? Like, what do you mean you don't need machines to count them? You guys are crazy.
Yeah, machines that the party now that claims everything's election denial claimed for years was election fucking issues.
Right. Yeah, there's, I don't have obviously the video right now, but yeah, there's tons and tons of videos of them constantly talking about how the machines could be rigged, and we've proven that the machines could be rigged, and so and so and so forth. And then they use the same machines for the 2020 election, and they rigged them. Right.
They kept saying they can be rigged, man. They can vote. They can be rigged. All right. Well, we'll fucking rig them.
Right. Well, if we can rig them, then why don't we just get rid of them and hand count them?
Then people would have to work, man.
Right. I mean, we're not like these Asians, man. We don't know all that math stuff, you know. Like we need machines. We need calculators. We don't have that many fingers and toes to be able to count all the ballots here in America. So we need machines. Yep. That's real Democrat logic right there. You may or may not be aware, you guys. Fucking who is it? Chris Mays, the AG here in Arizona, has basically made it illegal to hand count votes. Or not Attorney General, Secretary of State Adrian Fontes, I think, right?
Right.
Yeah, basically made it like now it's illegal if counties want to hand count their ballots.
How ridiculous, man! It doesn't get fucking any more clownish.
Yep. As we just saw, you know, I mean, Taiwan, they held an election. I mean, again, you know, Taiwan is not as big as the United States, but at the same time, it's not like the United States votes in one gigantic fucking election. Keep in mind, we are not a democracy, right? So it's basically our small fucking counties. It's our small fucking districts that get to, you know, individual, you know, hand counts and stuff. So, I mean, if you're just counting your district, if you're just counting your county, a couple people could get it done in a day. And especially if they do it completely transparent like this, you know, where people could actually come down and watch them being counted by hand, like there will be no question. There will be no fucking cause.
Yeah, and I believe that they should count mail-in fucking ballots as they come in, not fucking pile them up in a room for days at a time or whatever, and then fucking send them out somewhere else to be counted. And you know what I mean? There shouldn't even be a chain of custody. It should be fucking in the mail or to the joint, counted, and then immediately filed where it can be retrieved if it's fucking legally questioned. You know what I mean?
Yep. And at the same time, dude, I mean, mail-in ballot should be an absentee type thing, but at the same time, of course, election day should be a national holiday, you know?
Totally agree, man. And, you know, I can't be a hypocrite. You know what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong. You know,
of course,
mail-in ballots probably should be banned, but I've used it for years myself. You know what I mean? Just for that simple fact, because, you know, I'm always fucking at work till late, you know? So.
Right. I mean, it should be something that, you know, like I say, is a national holiday. Politics should be talked about more often amongst, you know, amongst the communities and stuff. You know, That's the fact that we've made politics such a taboo thing, you know, such a taboo subject. You know, it really, like I said, points to the fucking communism seeping into our society.
And one thing that a lot of people here, at least here in Arizona, may not know, you know, you can go to your county org site and you can trace your ballot and make sure it was counted. If there's any kind of issues, it'll be on there, questions with your signature, anything like that. And they have to alert you. So.
Yep. Yeah, I'll post the link, you know, come around election season, you know, around actual, you know, election season. But yeah, I always make sure I check my shit, make sure it got counted, you know, all that. But yeah, man, it's, you know, like I say, simple stuff, you know. It's really, we don't have to, you know, do some extra layers of protection. We don't have to do any of this, you know, extra bullshit. You know, we don't have to fucking, you know, rerun elections. You know, we don't have to have all this lawfare when it comes to elections. It really could be as simple as, you know, basically the same Republic style electoral college that we've always used, and basically same day fucking, you know,
results, man. They did the same thing in France in one night. You know what I mean? Again, France isn't as large as the United States, but it's still tens of millions of people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's, you know, it's a feat that can be accomplished with some serious, you know, work, just hours just of work. You know what I'm saying? It's not a big deal.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, to me, anyone with any kind of sense about, or any kind of faith left in an election system should want this, man. It's the one thing that's kind of foolproof. And, you know, you love to hear about, you know, human fucking error, but there's not much error if you're just going one, you know? I mean, this shit ain't hard.
You're right. Yep. Yeah, dude. But like I say, I don't think they want that. You know, I think they want the bureaucracy. They want the fucking, they want shit to collapse. You know, as we talked about.
It's not even just that. It's also to justify the positions. It's also to justify the fucking hundreds and thousands of people that work for a ever growing fucking Leviathan, dude. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. And they basically want everybody to work for the state. And so that way the state could come in and seize the means of production. Fucking communism 101, man.
Yeah. And again, that's also in the Greens New Deals and the UN Charter, man, to increase fucking state dependency through employment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Not just handouts anymore. Now they're like, you come get some of these government fucking, employment package, and then you're really hooked.
Right. Fucking A, man. That's what. Like I said, I don't think. Again, that whole white pill, scenario that I was talking about. I think, obviously, like I say, that'd be great if it goes down in that direction. I mean, of course, there's still going to be some hard times. There's still going to be some dark times. But at least it'll come out, in the right direction, a lot quicker. But of course, we also have to think that we have opposition the entire way, and the opposition, has power. They have fucking, donors, and as we see, they have, the backing of basically the people that lead the not free world.
They lost Michael Rappaport.
Right.
Yeah, no, I feel you though, man. They do. Definitely institutional power, all the way through fucking education, obviously, through to the top of the state, and have got their fucking fingers in a lot of places. Hence the reason you see the corruption through the FBI and CIA and the military through Trump's fucking tenure. Generals out and out defying orders and hiding information from the commander in chief. Yeah, man, it's they're pretty easy to kind of root out. I would assume. I mean, you hear most of these people talk for more than fucking 30 seconds, and you're like, yeah, this guy's a cancer. You know what I mean? Going, I get. And especially like the Miley, I'd say the public introduction to that guy, he's out here talking about white rages and fucking BLM rather than military tactics or, lack thereof or, whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah. It's all about diversities,
Yeah.
I think, like I said, with the whole MAGA movement and, basically the deep state basically is coming out and being forced to show their ass, I think it's made it much more easy to be able to, judge people, right. Quicker.
Yeah, I can't remember her first name, but when a congresswoman from California, something Lee, dude, she came out today, talking about the normal racisms and whatnot, but it was, about Trump and, saying that, look at, the introduction of the dismantling of DEI, basically, and that's systematic racism, dude. Like DEI is systematic racism,
right?
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's creating racism where there isn't any. You know what I mean? It's the exact opposite of everything that they fucking tell you, just like the Patriot Act.
Yeah. Yeah, they just put a fucking a nice name on it that you can't say no to. It said, "Do you want to vote for fucking free puppy dogs for everyone's act?"
Right?
No. Do you hate puppy dogs? What's wrong with you?
Right.
You're a monster.
Yeah, DEI.
They do that.
You DIE, dude.
Right. And in the meantime, the free puppy dogs free puppy dogs for all act. It's really just fucking, some dystopian shit where they just, put robotic dogs into your house that listen to everything that you say.
Yeah.
And record video.
Again, for anyone that like it, fucking, I got a pretty nice little video where an ex-tactical fucking, officer kind of lays down how to take care of those fucking armed robot dogs. They're rolling out in big cities, man. Gives you about 5 examples and quick ways to, dispatch.
Yeah, dude, that's some dystopian ass shit too,
right.
Man.
Yeah. And that's, right out of, what was it? Fahrenheit, man.
Yeah.
Ray Bradbury. You know what I'm saying? They had those dogs that would fucking hunt you down rather than the actual police officers.
What would you rather have? Robots as police officers or illegal immigrants?
Fuck, man.
Because you have to pick one. And death is not an option, my friend.
Both of those kind of spell death, you know what I mean? Because you got one that has no allegiance to the country or its people, and then another that doesn't even know what the fuck allegiance is. It's just programmed to fucking subdue or murk.
Everything is black and white.
Right.
Yeah. That's why I say support your local militias, people.
Yeah, like RoboCops, man. You're gonna end up getting smoked, fucking, you know, because you're smoking a cigarette by a no smoking sign or something.
You're right. Shit, man. Like I say, I don't know, man. I'm white pilled to the point where like I said, I think culture is moving in the proper direction, but again, you know, everything else is still moving in the wrong direction. You know, like things like technology and fucking, you know, government overreach and
Yeah, I
you know,
just saw an article today that was saying all AI programs, all their predictions economically, everything has a socialist leftist fucking, you know, programming leaning, and you know, dude, it's hard to think about not facing a fucking Stalin Terminator, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. Yep. Yeah, and that's why Bongino points out, you know, that's why they, you know, it's so important that they censor conservatives on the internet, because they don't want, you know, because basically Chat GPT and all these other AI you know, programs basically just scan the internet for the information that we you know, basically put out into the internet, and based off of that, they basically make, you know, educated decisions on what the logical responses would be, right? And so basically, if you have conservative being able to be input into the AI's you know, search engines and stuff, well, then they might possibly think that maybe conservatives are right, and therefore we can't have that.
right?
So
Yeah.
that's why I got to be censored off the internet. But we're seeing
Yeah, I mean,
a bit of a
you
surge
got
right now, though.
you almost got to take that conservative moniker off, though, and just go with right. Just
Right.
You know what I mean? At this point, people that are being called conservative are being endorsed by fucking Paul Ryan. So, you know, fuck that.
Well, fucking Nitteraka. Or Nitteracha, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, this, you know, the so-called conservative, you know, group there has been moved so far to the left at this point that, you know, like you said, Nitterata fucking is a star, a political, you know, future. You know what I mean? And that's absolutely ridiculous, because, like the video you just played, she's a flip flopper. She doesn't know what the fuck she thinks. You know what I mean? She's being told what to think, just like fucking, you know, half the motherfuckers, if not more.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, what makes a good Democrat is fucking make sure you can be a good puppet. Make sure you take the hand up your ass real good and then move your mouth when they tell you to. You know?
Yeah. And basically, if MSM hates him as a political fucking figure, that's probably someone you should support.
That's right. Yep. The enemy of the state is the champion of the peoples, man.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what we're seeing with Donald Trump, man. That's why he's got that Teflon Don rock star status going on, man. I think he's going to keep surging. I think he is embedded within the American psyche. Either you absolutely, you know, hate the dude, or that's a pretty fucking that's the dude right there, you know? Yeah,
right.
Or of course you could be one of those fucking Q people that think that he's making Jesus come back to fucking Earth, you know, like I don't know. You could be one of the people on Truth Socials.
Right. Yeah. I've lost nothing but money on Truth Social, man. Fucking goddamn digital world is bullshit. No, it's actually been surging as well. You know, the value's been going up along with them. You know, it's actually come a long way this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shit, glad to hear it. About goddamn time, dude.
Yeah, because originally
it's been like
just plummeted.
Yeah, well, you had that stock for like 2 years now?
Yeah. Since it went public, you know what I mean? I snapped it up immediately thinking this is going to be a halfway decent investment. And up until this point, it's been nothing but a loss. But unfortunately, you know, you hate to say it, but the same thing as Rumble, man. I got like fucking, I don't know, 11 shares or something. And it's worth like a quarter of what it was when I purchased them. So, you know.
What do you think? Do you see that basically Trump fucking put out some message saying that, you know, as soon as I win the election in November, that, you know, the stock markets are going to immediately turn around based off the fact that Trump's coming back to town? Like,
yeah, I mean, shit's traded off futures. So, you know what I mean? If they see a future where there's going to be some loosening of the regulations and some price drops, yeah, I'm sure you're going to see some numbers start to move, man.
Right. I don't know, man. If I can, the whole, you know, Bidenomics thing that they're still trying to pass off it's working great for everybody. You know, like I don't know what you're talking about. I saw I forget. I think it was a Korean Jean-Pierre video where basically they're talking about like, hey, the number one concern on people's mind is the economy, and basically her answer was, no, it's not. Next.
Right. Yeah, and then she goes on to tell you that razor wire doesn't actually stop illegal crossings; it actually fucking endangers border patrol. Like, what in the fuck, man? You know what I mean? And she's a page right out of some Orwellian shit, dude.
Yep. Like, the more that they continue with their ridiculousness, like I said, the more people like, wait a minute, like that doesn't make sense. The more fucking, like I say, stupid they get with their responses and with their excuses and whatnot. Like I say, the more people are gonna like, wait a minute, especially with the fact that like how much of a demonized figure that Donald Trump is. Like if at this point, if you're on the left and you haven't at least once just like, well, maybe let me see what the guy's got to say, like. Right. And you're just fucking, you are literally brainwashed and you are part of a cult, like.
Yeah, so, and unfortunately, I mean, you may see some let up. Some people kind of switch, maybe do an RFK or some Cornel West shit, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, you'd be amazed at how many people are sticking with. If you guys, whoever's on the old TikTok out there, man, I know it's TikTok, but it's, the land of the shorts, dude. You got to go check it out. Come hit my page, look in the comments, and you will see nothing but fucking liberal meltdown and, you know what I mean? They'll say cockamamie shit and they act like they got you, dude. Like, you're crying. You know what I mean? Like, you're a comedy show. Right. Nobody's crying. They're all going to laugh at you. Like, fucking stupid shit, man.
Speaking of which, we got called propagandists on fucking the X app.
I saw that
on the last one for talking about Gonzalo Lira.
I saw that on there. Yeah, dude. I just laughed at him too. Fucking clown show. Always.
He wasn't executed. He died of pneumonia. Yeah, while locked in a fucking prison for being a fucking journalist, and still, it's the fact that he's an American citizen.
He died of pneumonia.
The situation in the first place. Right. But speaking of which, I didn't read the headline. I saw the headline. Basically, they're doing the same thing to the fucking January 6th political prisoners. Basically, the place where they're being held at, they turned off the heaters during a fucking snowstorms and shit.
Yeah, when it's hitting -20 and shit. Fuck yeah, dude. It's and that's your fellow countrymen, dude. That's
right.
What we've disintegrated into.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Democrats will talk about prison reform and how we have to make sure that everybody's got air conditioners, everybody's got cable TV, and everybody's got fucking PlayStations and all this and that type shit while they're serving time in prison. Like, but these guys fucking turn off their air conditioner. Fuck them.
Yeah, we definitely have to find a way to house fucking 17 million illegals. You know what I mean? Fucking more than 3/4 of which in 2 cities. I mean, it's definitely, that's what we, A1 priorities.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking, if you're on the left and all this type of stuff hasn't bothered you in any way, like I say, I could understand you have a different worldview, a different economic view, what have you. But the fact that you're literally watching legalized weaponism take place in a supposedly free and fair country, if that doesn't bother you, then you're a fucking communist and you need to be dealt with. Right. But yeah, like I said, I mean, if I can understand, like I say, the whole bleeding heart left wing thing, I mean, if you're not a fucking Democrat when you're young and all that stupid shit, like I said, I could understand the mind frame, that these people have. But like I say, at least for the most part, I at least always thought that they somewhat believed in a non fucking clown world system. I at least thought that hey, maybe they're not all about kangaroo courts and all that type of shit. That's why I am fully on the mindset that this is an actual coup. This is an actual push for political, not even political, total domination.
Yeah, and like you said, and the way they're trying to orchestrate it is, doing crazy shit in your face and trying to goad, the opposite side into fucking committing some actions that they can point at and say that, we need to outlaw. You know what I mean? Because of the uprising, I've been horribly scarred. So I need to, you know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You need to fucking be named Supreme Chancellor and fucking, you know what I mean? It's they're looking for their Reichstag. They tried with J6, but the more footage comes out and shit, and all the anomalies, it's an obvious fucking show. And even leftists got to know that at this point. Even the ones that are still screaming in some erections, in your heart, son, you fucking little Riri, you know that shit ain't real. You know what I mean? People don't fucking clean up hat racks and stay in velvet ropes when they're trying to take over government buildings. But they're going to push it regardless, man. And they want some kind of civil strife, and that's the only way at this point to retain power. They're trying with the wartime president thing. It ain't working. It's actually backfiring. Hence the reason you're getting the Palestinian BLM fucking insurrections at the White House. And it's everything this admin does is just crumbles or backfires, man. And so desperation move is to try to get us to commit acts of violence. And I got a job. I don't see that happening. I mean, I am Merkins, bro. I live pretty decent, and like I said, it's not bad enough yet. People here really have to be uncomfortable for something to happen. Like you were saying, you don't know if Americans have it left in us to pull off another revolution. And I believe that we do. Like you said, you just got to take enough away. And, this is America. It's not bad enough yet. And, I hate to use the old Bongino line, but it's fucking on the head. And until people are going without heat, not just prisoners, but in your house and without food, and you can't get butt wipe again, that's when people start tripping out and causing a ruckus, man.
Yep. Like I say, we're damn near, we're getting there. We're getting there. Like I say, I think more people are starting to just wake up to I don't know, whatever, just from the economy to whatever. And I think people, like we've talked about before, I think people are just starting to, with their one track mind, just remember like, well, the last time anything was decent was under Trump, And like I say, even for the normies that don't pay any sort of attention to anything, at least that, is something,
Yeah, and you hope people realize that. You hope the Trump train keeps rolling, like an Iowa situation and at New Hampshire right now, and then South Carolina, and if Democrat Nikki stays in, never Nikki hangs out. She loses her own state. Fuck, at that point, there's no choice but the fucking you got to go, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And DeSantis has done just about blew his entire war chest at this point, and now he's got Florida fucking residents that elected this dude by a massive margin coming out and saying, dude, you're not taking care of the state. We're having issues here, and you're digging yourself a hole by just staying away.
Right. Then you got fucking Tim Scott, fucking went ahead and endorsed Donald Trump today too.
Yeah.
Yep. Fucking Vivek Ramaswamy's, right? So let's talk about Vivek real quick, man. So what do you think? Do you think Trump is going to offer him the position, the VP position?
I don't necessarily know VP. He very well could. I mean, like I said, in my opinion, I think that even though, like you were saying, like you could see by the body language, like who's the alpha when they were standing on stage together. I still think Vivek is very eloquent, you know what I'm saying? A fucking wordsmith. And, Trump doesn't like to be shown up, regardless if you love or hate the guy. You can admit he's pretty a narcissistic type of fella, man. And, it plays to his strengths for the position that he's trying to attain. But the point is those type of people don't like to share the spotlight. But if it's a passing the torch type of situation, he might go that route. Or if he wants someone to do some of the heavy lifting as far as being out in front of the cameras, because he did a lot of that last time, maybe he could focus more on fucking cracking skulls. So right. I would dig it for sure. It'd be a positive thing.
So the one thing that I'm worried about is, of course, who he's going to pick for vice president, for the main reason of who is going to become president when they inevitably impeach him or fucking try and stand against him or try and fucking say that he's going crazy and he's going to destroy the system, or
he's invading
until
Mexico.
somebody goes right, until whatever the fuck they do to make, like I said, he's not going to have 4 years of just like, oh, okay, I'm going to do what I want to do, and he's going to have 4 years of them basically again trying to do this they've done for the last 10 years,
Right.
So I mean, it's basically is down. The question is like, oh, who do we want to fucking go ahead and step in after he gets impeached?
Someone that'll scare him,
or assassinated, or whatever.
Yeah, to your point. Yeah, you want someone there that'll scare the fuck out of him and make him second think that, because hey, if we get Trump out right now, Vivek's gonna step in, and this fool's talked some fucking way wild shit.
Right.
What I mean?
Right, dude, yeah. The fucking rhetoric of Vivek, like I said, almost make Trump blush every now and then,
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's knocking him down. I mean, he hasn't said anything that fucking, I disagree with or that I feel is like, myths or disinformation.
Right. Right. Like, so there was the whole controversy where basically Vivek and Trump had the small scuffle, and of course people like Styx, he still thinks that Vivek is a straight up fucking deep state plant,
Yeah.
So I mean, what's your thoughts on his take on that? I still think the dude's legit. I still think that he's a MAGA towns.
I think that as soon as he fucking pissed like the Trump crowd off, it was literally within 24 hours, dude. He was like, "I'm done," and I endorse Trump. Yeah, like that's not what I meant, dude. I'm fucking sorry, man. You know what I mean? Like he, pretty much, his apology, boom, like that. And Trump said he called him. You know what I mean? It wasn't like Trump called Vivek. You know what I mean? Vivek called Trump, and even Trump said, "I was surprised to hear from him." And it seems legitimate. He seems sincere. You know what I mean? And again, the man is highly intellectual, and you'd think if it wasn't real, he'd have a different way of wording. You know what I mean? At minimum,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think. I mean, because the words and the shit that he's saying to me makes complete logical common sense. He's not trying to derail anything. He's not trying to make it seem crazy, outlandish, or conspiracy, type.
Yep. Yeah, and the whole thing was basically he was basically trying to say essentially what we're saying right now, except he was saying it to potential voters in the primary, right? And basically he's trying to say that I'm a contingency plan, I'm for whenever they inevitably go after Trump, or whenever they try to lock him up or whenever they try to remove him from the ballot, at least there's still somebody that's basically putting out the same message as Trump, and so basically he's I guess trying to talk up the voters and stuff. But I guess he went ahead and slipped and said so make sure you guys vote for me tonight. And it's basically a vote for Vivek would be a vote against Trump, right? As much as Vivek may like the guy, as much as he may be I'm on Trump's side. Regardless, a vote for Vivek is a vote against Trump. Yeah. So I mean, of course Trump basically went in and fucking fucking snapped at him real quick, and Vivek fucking went ahead and dropped out, and now
consolidated the vote, though. I mean, you've seen Trump took a little boost immediately, dude. Like he fucking absorbed fucking Vivek's 8% pretty much. You know what I mean? Off rip, dude.
Yeah.
And one of the comments, man, fucking on YouTube says Disney's going to be huge. I don't know what the fuck that means, but I don't recall us speaking on Disney at all. But I don't know. Yeah, I think that's my guy Chris, man. But he's always got some weird handles.
Good old Disney. I don't know what the fuck Disney's up to, man. They've been seemingly a little quiet lately, right? I haven't heard much.
I mean, it fucking ever since the old Elon's fucking
told Bob I gotta go fuck himself.
Hi, Bob. Yeah, that's another dude that you keep hearing, the conspiracies that he's a plant, he's doing it for, and I'm sure he is to an extent, right? His own fucking, favor or what have you. But I see Elon as being another sincere, upholder of fucking freedom, man. And the money, obviously, to do something about it. And they're coming at him at all directions. And the dude is not backing down. He just keeps fuck you. I mean,
Right.
like I said, even the EU, they're like, you know, you censor fucking X or you're banned from the EU. Well, I guess we're banned from the fucking EU. People better
Right.
get fucking VPNs.
Yeah, before they ban those too.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, of course, it's always good to you know, scrutinize. You know, always take everything with a grain of salt. You know, as Bongino says, don't fall in love with, you know, politicians or, you know, these, you know, people fall in love with the results. You know, and so if you guys would like to look back, the very first ever Liberty Bowl that I actually did. Yeah, only available on Rumble. Actually, it's not on YouTube. You're only going to find it on Rumble. Was entitled "Is Elon Musk a Trojan Horse?" And that was basically yeah, scrutinizing his you know, basically his non-stance of his stance of being a non-free speech absolutist. Basically, where he was basically saying that there's still going to be, you know, some sort of a you know, bannings and stuff like that. You know. I forget what it was. It was a long ass time ago. It was basically when he was first buying Twitter, and he's basically, you know, yeah, you know, we're not. It's not going to be fucking complete bedlam over there. It's not going to be, you know, complete anarchy on the site. You know, they're still going to have rules and shit like that. And so there's basically kind of question, right? And so of course, you know, they can always scrutinize, always question. Never think anybody's infallible, man. I mean, like we've said, you know, I even have stuff that I don't like about, you know, that Trump's done. You know, the whole bump stock ban. That's the big thing. You know, you basically opened up the door for banning individual items in pertaining to firearms. You know,
that's one of the things that originally turned me off from him in 2015 during the debate when he said, I believe that we take the guns first, due process later. Like, right. You know what I mean? I was not a Trump supporter at first, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, stop and frisk. Fuck no. I'm still 150 fucking % against stop and frisk, especially looking the way that I do. You know? Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of things that, you know, you could speak against the guy about, but you know, the good to me far outweighs the bad, and you know, the only real bad is going to be the reaction of the left. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which, you know, we were kind of, you know, going into, you know, these guys are, you know, planning the coup shit. You can read it in several articles and hear them speak about it in interviews. And, you know, I mean, a lot of times they use code language, but a lot of times, like one of the ones that, you know, Brian just read out was, you know, where they flat out told you this is not legalese. This is fucking warfare. This is street fights and, you know, calling the troops basically. That's you know, in that same article, I believe, where Dan Bongino, you know, continues to go on, where he speaks on the fact that they actually had some kind of ground team fucking ready to go, and that, you know, they were basically, you know, Biden won, so they told him to stand down. You know what I mean?
Right. So like basically, saying that the left might do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, right. So basically, you know, as we've said, you know, the left are they're the ones that are unhinged. You know, they're the people that probably should not, you know, be active in politics.
Yeah, just remember that you always hear right-wing extremesies and whatnot, but what right-wing entities have you seen burning down fucking cities and beating cops and murdering fucking people? And it's always January 6th, where 12 minutes was cherry-picked out of fucking hundreds of hours of footage. And they show you after the crowd was goaded by getting shot in the face with fucking rubber bullets and shit in a confined area, and they reacted, which basically anybody would. It's fight or flight, right? And you know, they convinced you that that's fucking right-wing violence, when in reality, you know, for the second time in fucking 5 or 6 years, they've had to evacuate the fucking White House. You know what I'm saying? Just the other day.
Right.
And I mean, it's always left-wing fucking entities and groups that are fucking, you know, involved or, you know, actually committing the acts.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's very much more, it's much more common to, you know, get, you know, to see these fucking protests get out of hand and shit on the left. You know, you rarely even see a right-wing protest. You know, the last time you saw one was fucking January 6th, man. You know, and so the fact that you know, they're out here trying to portray it as, you know, oh, it's right wing extremism that's the real fucking threat to society and shit. But at the same time, in their own fucking articles and their own papers and all that, their own plans and all that shit, they basically admit that, you know, it's the fucking left wing. And the whole thing is they basically they know what, you know, the young leftists are bound to eventually do. And so that, you know, like I said, they stoke the shit. You know, they will drop off fucking pallets of bricks and shit like that in order to fucking stoke the violence and shit. So of course, chaos is fucking opportunity for fucking power grabs. And so that's basically their entire fucking, you know, move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, never let a catastrophe feast go to waste, dude. And you know, fucking, it's funny you saying like the pallet of bricks. Like, I mean, and that stuff. You remember, for the longest time, you'd be struck right now on YouTube for saying that. That's conspiracy theories. But now there's been so many photos and fucking pieces of footage posted of it across the interzones that they don't even try to fucking censor that shit no more. It's obvious reality. You know what I mean? Like fucking wild shit.
And it's because they know that people aren't going to follow they're not going to follow the truth, you know, the average person, I guess, you know, like people like, you know, that you know, are avid, you know, fucking in the news, you know, in the news cycle and all that stuff, you know, people like us, people that are, I guess, very, very interested in the world around them, will eventually follow it to the point where they finally admit that, okay, yeah, the Hunter Biden laptop actually was real. You know, we'll follow it all the way up to the point where they'll be like, okay, yeah, you know, there was some anomalies in the Maricopa County elections and shit. Like, you know, but the average person won't. All they'll hear is, okay, problem. And then they'll just, you know, hear misinformation, disinformation. And then it's usually about, like I say, you know, what's the difference between the truth and a conspiracy theory? It's about 6 months. So about 6 months later, then the same fucking news people are going to just, you know, and in other news, like, yeah, that thing we said earlier, actually, you know, of course, they're not going to say it like that. They're going to, you know, news speak it and all that shit, you know?
Yeah. And now it's, you know, well, it's too late to do anything now.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
We'll think about bringing a vote to the floor, man, to try to change it, maybe. Possibly.
Right. Yeah, that's back to the fucking the black pill thing, man. It's like I said, I don't see things going smoothly, you know, for America in the next few years. You know, I see it, you know, going, you know, pretty poorly. Like I said, the whole thing with the economy, that's you know, not gonna stop, as we just saw. Fucking, what was it? Mike Johnson just passed his third fucking continuing resolution.
Yeah, that guy's definitely not any. I mean, he might be conservative. Right. Like I was saying, that's the conservative party. That's why I fuck that moniker, you know. And you know, dude is soft as jelly for sure. I mean, he's obviously just getting pushed around in that bitch. Like, he's not someone that should have been placed in that position. Fucking, you know, if you want an example, and it's not a good example, but it, you know, it is a supreme example of that position wielding power. Look no further than old Nancy Pelosi, where you know, bills for opposing fucking parties were at 0% for consecutive years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, she wielded the utmost fucking iron fist, man. And you know, and while you don't necessarily want that, you know what I mean? You know, you do want some kind of negotiation and actual, you know, political banter happening. Fucking, you know, you do want someone that's going to stand their ground and say, fuck you. That's why.
Right. I don't see that happening though, man. Like I said, you know, maybe if we got someone like Chip Roy or fucking Matt Gaetz,
Donalds or fucking
Byron Donalds,
yeah.
But I don't think they'll be able to get the votes. I think there's still too many establishment rhinos in politics. But again, they are slowly starting to become a thing of the past. They're slowly starting to become extinct, you know.
Yeah, and it's hard not to become a completely black-pilled cretin like you see around BitChute and whatnot. Like, it doesn't matter who's in there. You know, was it going to vote harder? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just, I mean, because really, I mean, like you said, you don't see that happening. And you know what I mean? Like, this is our second speaker in a year. And dude, fucking this year of Republicans having power has just been hilarity. It's just been clown show after clown show. And they keep, even the bills that they do sign off, dude, they push to a Senate that they know is not going to fucking approve it. and Mitch McConnell doesn't give two fucks about anything but his Alzheimer's medication. And you know what I'm saying? And, you know, the only fucking achievement in that dude's fucking goddamn political career was keeping Garland off the Supreme Court. Other than that, he's just just as much a detriment to old Merck as you know, the Democrats' carcass. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's really kind of like, you know, like I say, we're getting to the point where I don't even know if we're at the point already where basically our GDP is fucking being outweighed by the interest rates and shit on our debt. And like I said, we're basically at that tipping point of collapse, and it's only now that we're starting to fucking, maybe we should try and tap the brakes, you know, right as we're literally about to go flying off of the fucking cliff, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like a fucking heroin addict, you know, fucking trying to convince them, like, you're like, all right, well, maybe if you just try harder, you'll stop next time. Like, you know, fat chance, man. Like this, it needs to, you know, that motherfucker needs to be chained to a fucking bed somewhere, and then maybe they'll quit, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but the only thing that's going to fucking turn it around is a little combination of Milei and Pinochet, dude. You know what I mean? Really. You need someone to come in like fuck the Federal Reserve and at the same time throw commies out of helicopters. Let's fucking rock and roll, man.
Do you think fucking well, I haven't really heard Trump's thoughts too much on the Federal Reserve. Well,
yeah, I don't think he's really been hit up on it much, man. Like I said, you know, the only reason most people even have a grasp on that are the ones like kind of left over from the Ron Paul era, you know what I'm saying? And of course, Rand brings it up every once in a while. But other than that, you really don't hear anyone speak on that, man. That's a big, you know, like you said, man, it's got that little window of some years where we're talking about it because you had Ron Paul running around like end the Fed and audit the Fed and, you know, and unfortunately, those people don't pay attention when you look at the Fed sheet and you see since they've taken over, the value of the dollar just absolutely crashed, which obviously their inception was to protect the value of the dollar. They've done the exact opposite, just like fucking every bullshit fucking status, you know, social plan fucking, you know, scheme. Like, you know, you need to get just axe it. And I would, you know, you'd love to ask Trump, right? You'd love to roll up. Like, what's your thoughts on sound money, son? You know what I mean?
Right, dude. Yeah, because I haven't heard him say much about it. I know he's all about fucking business and he's all about fucking, you know, growing the economy and all that type of stuff. But yeah, when it comes to ending the Fed, I don't know if he's on that fucking train yet. You know,
hell no, he ain't, man. You know, he's
right. That's a niche crowd right there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he's unfortunately he's from right around that age as fucking Ron Paul, not much younger than him, but totally different class of economics. You know what I mean?
Right. So I think fucking, you know, one thing that's going to end up happening, you know, we've talked about it, you know, talked on it before too, is I think, you know, basically politics, as we're seeing with Nikki Haley, you can't just say your one-liners and, you know, you can't just come out there and, you know, go on these mainstream media channels where you have your questions, you know, sent to you a week beforehand, you know, so you know what they're going to ask you and you could prepare a statement and all that type of stuff. I don't think that's going to be the politics moving forward anymore. You know, as we're seeing with Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis, those days are done. You know, if you're not quick on your feet, if you're not able to, you know, sit down with the fucking, you know, with a you know, a podcast or a thought influencer, then yeah, for a good couple of hours and, you know, answer candidly any fucking question that comes your way. I think people are going to see right through you just the same way that we're seeing with Nikki Haley right now. Yeah, I think, you know, if you're not quick on your feet like Vivek or like Trump, or, you know, that's about it right now. You know, I guess, you know, the Matt Gaetz, you know, the other, you know, Freedom Caucus MAGAs and shit like that. You know,
don't forget Fetterman, dude. He's getting faster, man.
Right. I mean,
he's the sole fucking voice of reason on the left right now. That's fucking insane. I gotta say it again.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, dude, it's hilarious. I guess I do got to admit, man, I was 100% wrong about Fetterman. I was 100% wrong about you know, how I thought the trajectory of Fetterman would go. I remember, you know, when Fetterman first got elected, my thoughts on it was that they're just going to stuff this dude in the basement. Yeah. Right. Now, my thoughts on it was that they're going to, all this dude is good for is fucking sound bites and shit. And so basically they're just going to try and, tuck this dude as far away as they can and don't let him speak. Just give a fucking yes or no vote. And, we don't want to hear anything you got to fucking say. That's what I thought that they're going to try and do with them. But it turns out, he like I said, came out fucking swinging, came out being the voice of reason.
Down, dude. Yeah, dude, he's out here fucking killing it. Obviously I would never want to support, a Democrat or a socialist fucking Democrat for fucking that matter. But at this point he really has become the voice of reason, and he seems to be spouting off some sound fucking, legitimate fucking thoughts. And it's crazy to see the process, man, from, the drooling fucking, ogre that walked in to, a dude now that's going against his own party. Like, you guys are just, going overboard, man. You're freaking out.
Right. Hey, you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. But I like I say, I think, the age of information, the information era that we're moving forward into, I think, like I say, it's the politics of the past is gone. I think it's basically like when you were a kid and you were all into WWE or whatever, and you thought it was the coolest thing ever, and then you found out that it was all fake.
Yeah.
And so now you watch UFC instead. I think it's basically like that same transition that we're going to.
Right.
Yeah, people are tired of the WWE politics. They want to see fucking real shit. They want to see people get fucking teeth busted in. They want to see people get hit with the hard fucking questions. They want to see people get hit with the hard fucking evidence and have to answer for their shit on the fly. They want somebody that's sharp. Not somebody that has canned fucking answers already set up and prepared. They don't want canned laughter. They don't want fucking fake audiences. They don't want fake news anymore.
Right. They keep trying to move it back to that. They keep trying to move it back to 90s fucking election cycles. But you can give it up to DeSantis. At first, he tried to go the opposite direction. Obviously, he tried to do his launch on Spaces on the old exosphere with fucking Elon's himself, right? But it just was all fucked up. If you remember, like, the audio was fucked. It was terrible. You know what I mean? So I can see why he probably turned away from that, pretty quickly. You know what I mean? Like, that just fucked everything up immediately. But the thing is that, what was left, to choose from surely didn't help him recover. It's been nothing but a downward trajectory, man. You know what I'm saying? But I agree, though. Podcasts are the way to go, especially like coming on like a Timcast. Like, you see a lot of more right-leaning fucking, sitting politicians and whatnot take him up on that. He says he's invited a lot of leftists on, but, they never take him up. But, that's definitely the way of the future as far as media is concerned. And, the old gotcha questions are the best. And if your so-called leaders can't think on their toes, if they're not witty and whatnot, that's not somebody you want in charge, man. You want someone to be able to make lightning quick decisions.
Yep. Hell yeah, man. So again, that's another white pilling moment. Like I said, it's the culture that really is what's changing.
It's becoming because it's like the fucking counterculture, man. That's why it's like that's being more right wing. That's what it's becoming.
Yep. It's the dissidents, the deplorables.
Infidels.
So those are the ones that actually move and shape society. And that's us now. Fucking weirdo, blue-haired fucking weirdo motherfuckers. Anyway, you want to talk on Fannie Willis just real quick before we get on out of here?
Sure, rock it out, man.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't really know much about it. As far as I know, she paid more to can't remember the dude's name right now. But, she paid more to this other dude that she has appointed special counsel rather than, the person that's actually, a RICO case specialist that's worked RICO cases, his entire career, basically. That guy's getting paid less than her underqualified dude that she, I guess, had some relations with in times past.
Of course, the dude's name Nate Dogg. That's for your ass, of course. It's right, but yeah, this dude is like never even like prosecuted a felony. You know what I mean? He's only prosecuted misdemeanors and shit. You know what I mean? And apparently, you know, she's fucking blowing him, whatnot. And then, like you said, she paid him exorbitantly. You know, like 2.5 times what the next person paid. You know, in this investigation into Trump schools, and then apparently they use that cash to take a lavish fucking vacations and buy each other great gifts and whatnot. And then now apparently the divorce trial, the guy's going through a divorce, and the wife now has brought in like bank statements and all this kind of shit. So it's basically enriching themselves off of an investigation into the president, man. You know what I mean? So corruption, you know what I'm saying? And it's a conflict of interest for, her to be fucking the one of the prosecutors, man.
Right. Yeah. Clearly. Yeah. But yeah, it's like we've said, these people don't give a shit. They're not doing it because it's the right thing to do. They're doing it because they're fucking diversity hires and they're getting paid to do it.
Yeah. And then not to mention she was, it's now known through, FOIA requests from fucking Judicial Watch that she went and visited the White House fucking 3 times before announcing the official fucking indictments. And so, again, complete cooperation between prosecutors and the Biden administration. With, you got Letitia James. She was directly coordinating with the J6 committee. And of course, Jack Smith's all up in Garland's ass. So, it's a complete fucking top down thing, man.
Yep. Yeah. It's just coming directly from the big guy himself, some would say.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Just, like I say, complete corruption. It's a fully sinking ship, and all these people are just stuffing their pockets on the way out. They don't, like I say, they don't care about the consequences. In their mind, the worse they do and the harder the consequences, the better the optics, especially from the fact that the media is going to report it as Donald Trump's just going in and going after his political opponents and stuff. Like, well, fucking the district attorney in fucking Georgia is not running against me as a political opponent, so he's not a fucking political opponent, But they're still going to try and, like I said, dude, if Trump gets elected, he's going to still have the exact same amount of force being pushed against him as he basically tries to fix all of the destruction of the Biden administration. And
he's going to have his hands full
in a terrible light.
Yeah. And you hate to push the whole idea of executive fiat, but I mean, that's what Biden did. That's how he just fucked everything up, right? He came in immediately with a phone and a pen, the old Obama's method, and fucked everything Trump did up, right? So unfortunately, we're going to have to rely on at least some of that to take place to even halfway fucking, fix shit.
Yep. Like I said, I think it's going to come to blows, man, within the next year or two.
But the next 14 months is going to be wild.
Right. But again, like I said, it's not going to come from our side. It's definitely not going to come from our side, because our side is growing, in the culture war every day. They're becoming an animal that's being backed into a cage, and they're going to lash out. Once it becomes more apparent to them that they're not going to win, once it becomes more apparent to them that fucking, Trump is going to be back in the White House again, they're going to do some crazy ass shit.
They know. That's why you even had the head of the EU there at the WEF speaking on Trump being reelected, being a threat to the EU. Like, in what way? He made fucking trade pacts with Britain after they fucking, were trying to kick the whole Brexit thing into fucking gear. And, I mean, like, dude, these people just say shit. They just come up with cockamamie fucking stories. That's the exact opposite of reality, man. Fucking bizarro world, bro.
Yep. That's why they're the Democrat, Vicky. That's why they're the leftists, man. They just get all
lizards, man. Fucking lizards.
Fucking lizard lefties.
Yeah.
But yeah, they just, like I said, they just get all they tell people that they know are only going to read the first headline, and they're not going to follow the story down. They're not going to investigate into anything. They're just going to see the first thing and then just take that as gospel.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. It is gospel to them. That's that's what it is. They've replaced fucking religion with the state.
Right. Yep. I say that they've become fucking Easternized, man. They've lost their wheel. You know? And they haven't lost it. They fucking got it taken from them because they're fucking idiots.
Sackless.
All right. But anyway, man, we're about to head on out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and hit this dab. You got anything you want to throw in before we head on out?
No, smoke. Have a good time, dude. Fucking be fucking good to each other, son.
All righty. Well, again, thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to check out this guy's channels. Links are all in the description below. If you guys are not watching us on Rumble, make sure you guys get over there and watch us on Rumble because of the fact that it is election season. YouTube does not like us. YouTube has never liked this channel, to be honest, from the inception of it. That's why we only get about 10 to 15 views per fucking video. Still coming on 2 years later, but yeah, go ahead and follow us on Rumble, man. Rumble, that's again, it's about winning the culture, and Rumble, as we've seen, they've been fucking subpoenaed by nations trying to get them to remove certain people and certain content, and they won't do it. They're not going to do it, man. So they're again another one of those people that another one of those I guess entities that of course be skeptical about it, but at least for the time being, dude, they're fighting the fucking fight, and they're a big part of this movement.
That's it. Smells later, dude. Fucking Magatown. I hear.
All right. Man.